Hello, I'm Colin Berrido from Berrido Guitars and I'm an independent music teacher. Well, for all you starting out learning guitar, what's the first and most important thing to do? Well, it's to get yourself in tune. Why do you need to do that? Well, you want to sound good, don't you? The other thing which is quite important, you need to start to train your ears. Oral training is very important for us all. So, what would be my recommendation as a music teacher? Well, I've brought along a range of tuners just to show you. These electronic ones I think are excellent these days, and in the UK they cost typically between maybe 15 and £20, and that would be my first recommendation. Go for something like that. There are more traditional approaches to tuning. You can use a pitch pipe. They're very effective and you can tune to that. Have a main advantage actually, they do help to train your ears to hear the notes. The real old-fashioned way is a tuning fork. They're perhaps a little bit outdated, but they do work very well, and again they help train your ears. Just strike them on something hard, and I usually just hold them against the bridge and you can pick up a note. That's an A note at 440 Hertz. That's the standard most people use. If you move up and your budget allows, here's a more expensive tuner. This is probably just about getting into professional level, but these are very good, very reliable. This one is quite a few years old now, so once you've bought a good tuner and you look after it, it should last you a lifetime. I have another one here that's quite interesting. If you're an acoustic guitarist, you can actually stick this to the guitar and you can get a visual readout of what you're actually how you're tuning, how you're hearing things. So, how do we start to get tuned? Using your tuner, I tend to prefer to use or start from an A string, and you get that one in tune. The various methods, you can actually just go through all the strings using your tuner, which is fine, and you can usually get them just to read center. The other methods which you can use to help train your ears, and there are several of them. You can start with a reference A note, and then you can use what is often termed the 5th fret method, which means that you can use the note there and try and get each string in tune. As you heard there, that wasn't in tune. And you just pair up, and that again is out of tune. And you get the two notes to sound the same. That's slightly out. One little tip about tuning, by the way, always move the string back, slacken it, and then come up to the note. Never do it the other way around. And you can tell on the 5th fret. Now, where things get a little tricky, a little bit more difficult, you've got to remember when you go to the 2nd string, you need to move to the 4th fret on the 3rd string, the 3rd or G string. And again, you can do that, check those, and you can just bring them in. And that should be quite a reasonable tuning. And it is. The other little tip, just to extend that method, I very often just check at the 5th fret, but I also check on the higher string at the 7th fret. I could perhaps come in. It's quite a warm day today, so the tuning is varying quite a bit. And the mixture of using the 7th fret on the higher string, the combination of the two, I actually think makes for a better tuning. See, that one's slightly out. There it is. It's just pulled in. And it's a compromise. You need to find the point where they work. Now, for those who are a little bit more observant, you will also will have spotted that I'm also using tuning by an interval. Now, the first, or the bottom strings are actually tuned in an interval of a perfect 4th. And as your hearing, as your oral skills improve, you'll pick up those intervals. So they're 4ths. Now again, when you move to the 2nd string, that is an interval of a major 3rd. Now the other thing you're observing me do is I'm checking chords. So another method for tuning is actually play some chords, and it's a technique I sort of hybridize and pull them all together. So I may check on the 5th, check on the 7th, but I will also use chords typically like a G chord. Make sure that sounds nice and sweet. You can check the G notes within the chord. A D chord works well, your 4th string. And check everything sounds sweet. You can use an A chord. Check those 2 A's, and finally I very often use an E chord. And if you get those chords, the G, the D, the A and the E, to sound sweet, generally your tuning's good enough to go. So just to recap, first of all, my basic recommendation is that buy yourself a good electronic tuner. Learn to tune by ear as well, but I would also advise that with tuning by ear, also check yourself on the electronic tuner so that you're starting to hear. And gradually over a period of time, and don't get upset if it takes many weeks, that you will start to hear when your guitar is in tune. So enjoy your tuning, keep practicing and keep playing.